Welcome to CSEGuru. The next topic we will discuss under jump statement is break statement. This break is a keyword used in C. And like go-to statement, this break statement is also a jump statement which is used inside loop control statements. And if you are using this break statement inside the looping statements, it transfers the program control out of the loop. That is, the break statement will terminate the loop. This break statement can be used in loop control statements, that is for loop, while loop, as well as do while loops. And also it is used in switch statement that already we have discussed. If you are using the break statement in loop in the sense, it just terminates the loop. In switch statement means we have used a switch inside, we will use case 1, case 2, likewise many blocks we will use. So in switch statement, it causes the control to terminate the switch block. Suppose if case 1 is true means it will execute the case 1 statement, and after execution, it will break that switch block only. So that is the purpose of break in switch statement. In nested loops, if you are considering in the sense, this break statement will terminate the loop in sequence. For example, if you are using for loop, this is first for loop. That is the outer for loop. If you are using one more for loop in the sense, this is the inner for loop. And here, if you are using break, and also here, if you are using break in the sense, first it will terminate the inner loop. That is, it will terminate the loop in sequence. So first it will terminate the inner loop, then the outer loop. Suppose one more outer loop is there in the sense, outside it will terminate. That is, it will terminate the loop in order, that is in sequence only. That is, the inner loops should be terminated first, and then only slowly it will proceed to the outer loop. So that is the purpose of break statement in nested loops. And if you are using this break statement in switch in the sense, it recommends it is a structured programming style. But if you are using the break statement inside loop in the sense, it does not recommend to be used in structured programming. That is, use of break in loop does not recommend structured programming style. It is recommended to use inside switch statement, but not inside loop statement, because abruptly it will terminate that particular loop and the control will be transferred out of the loop. It is an inappropriate termination. But in switch, if you are using in the sense, it will execute all the sequence of statements inside that case block. After execution only, to transfer the control out of the switch statement only, we are using the break statement inside case block. So that is a structured programming style. But inside loop, if you are using in the sense, that is inappropriate termination. So it is unstructured programming style. And if you are considering the example in the sense, this is a for loop. And inside the for loop, if I value is equal to 5 means break. So when I value reaches to 5 means just break. So if it breaks means control will be transferred out of the loop. It won't execute the loop again. It will terminate the loop inappropriately and control will be transferred out of the loop, and it will execute the next statement in the C code. It won't execute this printf statement. So when I value is equal to 1, it will print I value. When I is equal to 2, it will print. When I is equal to 3, it will print. When I is equal to 4, it will print. When I is equal to 5, it won't print the value of 5. It will terminate the loop because this condition is true. So it will terminate the loop and the control will be transferred out of the loop. So this is the purpose of the break statement in loops. Even we can use in while also. So while I less than or equal to n, and inside the while loop, if I is equal to 5 means it can break. So when I value reaches to 5, simply the loop will terminate and the control will be transferred out of the loop. Similarly, do while loop, if you are considering, do if I is equal to 5 means just break. So in do while loop also, when I value reaches to 5, just it will break and control will be transferred out of the loop. So initialization I is equal to 1 here, and increment after printing this, you can increment the value. Here also you can increment the I variable. So this is the purpose of using break statement in loops. And if you are considering the switch statement, this is a syntax for switch statement. Switch, and inside the switch, any number of case statements we can include, and each case statement, the corresponding statements we can include. After executing these statements, at the end of each case block, we need to include a break. Because when this expression is true means any one of the case statement only it will execute. It won't execute all the case statements. So when the expression is true means only it will match with any one of this case value. So the corresponding statements only it will execute. After executing this corresponding statements, it has to break this switch block, that is switch case block. So for that purpose, it is used in switch statement. So this recommends a structured programming style. And example, if you are considering in the sense, already we have discussed this example in switch statement. Switch operator. If the operator is plus means, addition means, this case block it will match, and this statement it will execute. After executing this statement, it will break from this case block, and the control will be transferred here out of the switch statement. Suppose if this switch operator is minus means, this corresponding case statement it will match, and it will execute this statement. After execution, it will break, and control will be transferred out of the switch block. Likewise, this operator, which operator it matches, that corresponding block only it will execute. After execution, it will break. To terminate that corresponding case block, we have used break here. So the purpose of break statement is to terminate the current block in switch statement. But the purpose of break statement in looping statements is nothing but it will terminate, that is an inappropriate termination of the loops that will affect some part of the programs. So break statement, it is not recommended to be used in looping statements, but it is a must to be used in switch statement in each case block. Thank you for watching this video.